Hi, this is for those who want deeper healing and are determined to get there. Why do I say that? Because this work is likely to trigger you. And if you cannot pull yourself out of that trigger to notice what's going on, then you can't access that deeper healing. So you've got to really, really want it and really, really be able to notice when you're triggered and to pull yourself out of it and actually see what is happening. So there's a couple of ways that we can go about this during the day. The first of all is to notice what we're doing and notice why we're doing it. The second is to notice what we're not doing and ask ourselves why we're not doing that. So let's look at the first one first. What are we doing during the day and why are we doing it? So here's an example. Are you waking up to an alarm clock? If so, do you know why? Is it because you want to get on with your day and it's something you really, really want to do? Or is there a fear behind it? Are you afraid of being late? You're afraid of missing out? If there's a fear there, if there's a negative emotion there, that is something that can be worked on. You can work with that fear, acknowledge it, accept it, feel it, tap on it, whatever you want to do to release the fear. Then you still might want to use an alarm clock, but the way you use it, how it feels, will be different throughout the day. So moving on, what about having breakfast? Are you having the breakfast that feels the most scrumptious to you? Or are you choosing something because you're afraid that you're running out of food? Or are you having something because you're afraid of having something else? Or because you feel like this is going to help heal you in some way? Is there a fear there? If there is, you can work with that fear to feel it, to accept it, to acknowledge it, to allow it to release. You may well end up having the same food for breakfast, but the feel of it inside of you will be different. What about your work? Are you working in a job that you hate? If so, you can work with that hate to allow it to dissipate. Are you working with people that you don't like working with, that frustrate you or annoy you or put you down or whatever? If so, you can work with those feelings to release them so that work becomes a different experience. You may well stay on at the job. You may decide to do something else. It doesn't matter, but you're working with those feelings that are happening during the day, working to release them so that your experience of the day is different. What about later on in the day? Are you a prepper? Are you someone who's gathering supplies because of a fear of something's going to happen? If so, what's the fear? Who are you afraid of? Work with that fear to release it. You may well still prep, but it will feel very different to you after you've done this work. What about in the evening? Are you having a drink? Are you having a drink because you love the taste of that drink? Or are you having it so you don't have to feel the emotions of the day? If so, you can work with that. You can work with those emotions, or you can work with the fear of feeling those emotions and allow that to release. You may well still have the drink, but the experience of having that drink will be very different. Okay, so that's doing the things that we do. What about avoiding things? What are we not doing during the day? And why are we not doing them? Try and think about that. What about finances? Are you not looking in your bank account? Are you not paying bills? Are you not opening the mail? Is that because you're just putting it off for a time that works really well for you and you're going to do it all? Or is there fear involved in that? Are you afraid of opening the bills? Are you afraid that you don't have enough money in your bank account? Is there fear there? If so, you can work on that fear and release that fear until it becomes easy to open those envelopes and to pay those bills. What about doing the dishes? Are you putting off doing the dishes until you've gathered enough that it makes sense to do a load of dishes? Or are you putting it off because you hate doing dishes? If there are negative emotions there that are preventing you from doing the dishes, that is something you can work on. You can work on that dislike of doing the dishes and allow it to release so that it becomes easy to do the dishes. Maybe you start listening to music or a podcast or something while you're doing the dishes, and it becomes a very different experience. So work through your day, look at your day, see what you're doing and why you're doing it, see what you're not doing it and why you're not doing that. See if you can work on those feelings that come up when you look at those and release those negative emotions so that your experience of a day becomes different. The day starts to flow for you. So you're moving towards your day rather than being swayed by fear and negative emotions that are buffering your day about. That is how we start to truly become ourselves, our true selves, and it changes everything. Thanks for joining me. Hope you have a good week. Bye bye.